In my pixelart Pygame space shooter, you start with the bullet shooting saucer, Blitz. If you hover over to the next one, you can see that you need a score of 1500 to unlock it. If you're good at this game, you can reach it pretty fast.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Then you go to the garage and unlock it with the default upgrades. Now the ship is yours, so let's see what it's made of. But since this is a devlog, let's take a look at the development process of Vortex. I'm sure that some of you had the chance to play the second Chicken Invaders game. That's where my idea originates from. In that game you could use 3 different weapons. The red and green bullets are similar, but there's a laser as well. My first take on creating a laser beam turned out pretty good. What I did was I simply spawned a long horizontal rectangle coming from the ship with the reach of the whole screen. Anything that the laser touches gets damaged and destroyed. Although this version of the gun was too OP. And I still had that overheat bar at the top of the screen that I didn't know what to do with. Anyways, as a next step, I created a bunch of upgrades for this new laser weapon. I won't get into details as there will be a whole video about upgrades in the future. So, to make use of that overheat bar, I thought why not make a charging mechanism for this chip. So I implemented it. It still works fine, but now you have to pay attention for charging. If you let it go before the bar fills, the charge will be reset, so you have to time it well. Then, if you get some laser size upgrades, you can see how the laser changes. I try to give it a zigzaggy texture with Pygame's built-in line displaying method, but we're far from done yet. Let's talk about the ship itself now. To give it some personality, it was time to create an asset for the new saucer. I stick with the light brown-ish, red-ish color from the original palette and started to call this one the red ship. The first design was almost the same as the green ship, but this is about to change. It was time to finally create the ship selection screen with a bit of an information about both Blitz and Vortex. To make the two differ more from each other, I drew another exhaust animation. Still a lot to go. I can't believe I committed this version with the message "game almost ready." Then I created the score unlock feature that I mentioned at the start of the video. By this time Blitz had 7 upgrades while Vortex had only 4, so I had to fix this. The ones you already seen so far in this video are boosting the damage, size, penetration and charging time of the weapon. I had a hard time figuring out what the rest should be. My first idea was that the gun could be semi-automatic, so you have to press and hold space every time you want to shoot. But if you get the automation upgrade, you could hold space and your shots will be automatic. To make it visually more responsive whether the gun is charging, I started working on a laser charge circle in front of the ship. This, just like the laser itself, increases in size if we stack the size boosting cards. The next upgrade is the Overcharge. If you get this, you have the ability to hold the weapon charge for longer, leading to more massive laser beams with boosted damage. I want to make this feature switchable so it won't interfere with the automation. Then you could choose if you want to use your less powerful but more agile shots, or rather wait a bit longer but deal more damage. And just to distinguish them, the basic is yellow while the overcharged is red. The last upgrade is pretty cool. Since the shots of the ship are not instant, I wanted to boost its defense by somehow repelling the asteroids with the laser beams. So with the push force upgrade, the X component of the asteroid's direction vector will be increased with some value, lowering their speed towards the player or either making them go towards the right side of the screen. This is especially useful when dealing with bigger asteroids that the player cannot destroy instantly. The ship is viable now, but I still felt a bit of drawback due to the charging times. To counter this, I added more health and speed for Vortex. But when the laser is being charged, the ship moves a little bit slower, so the player should pay attention to this when firing. I almost finished working on Vortex when I had a brilliant idea to make use of the increased size of the laser beam. And that is, the laser won't disappear instantly, it rather shrinks down until its height reaches 0. But up to that point, anything that collides with the laser gets damaged. And with bigger size, it stays on the screen for longer. Okay, but this might be too OP, right? Actually, it's not, because the penetration attribute of the laser works like if the beam had health. If it's 1, it will damage only 1 asteroid. If it's 10, it can damage up to 10 asteroids before being exhausted. And of course, it can hit the same target multiple times if it's caught in the beam. To make it visually informative, again, the basic beam is yellow, the overcharged is red or light brown, and the exhausted is dark brown. That's about the functionality of Vortex. Some last words about the design. To make the ship look more different than Blitz, I added edges to it. Edges look cool. And you know what? Poor Vortex was the one that you liked the least out of the 3 ships, and the static animation is kinda lame, so I decided to spin the ship around its center axis and make it more lovable. Let me know if you like this new animation. And if you have any suggestions about the laser mechanics, feel free to share it with me in the comments. Next time I'll show you the trick that I use to gain a lot of FPS in my game. See you there. Stay safe and take care.